I was hoping to pass to David at that point, but it seems like he's having some issues over there at the moment. His ninja is playing up. So what I'd like to do is, first of all, if you've got any questions on anything I've said, so please just drop them into the chat box. More than happy to answer them for you. But what I'd like to do is just scroll back a little bit. This time last month, it's difficult to believe a month has already gone past moves so quickly when you're in trading, and especially with forex, where news releases are cyclical. So we always know in advance what is happening, not only on a day-to-day basis, but the rest of the week, and that will also give us an indication of what the market is going to be focused on. And this week, being the first week of the trading month, we have the PMIs, we have the RBA, which we had yesterday, we've got the BOC, that's the Bank of Canada on Wednesday, and we have the ECB on Thursday, and of course on Friday we've got the non-farm payroll. But what I did last month, and it was something I suggested to our traders, our students in the VPA room, and I had a whole thread on it on my Forex trading page as well on Facebook, is basically you really need to get to know your currency, your individual currencies, what fundamental news is likely to affect it, when is it going to be affected, and really just, it's like if you were investing in a stock, you would get to know about that stock. You would, you would do your research on it, and you would get to know as much as possible about it. So this is, as I said, the beginning of the month is always Aussie, and it's always the Chinese PMI data that comes out first. Chinese data came out, it was the Casein, one of the PMIs that we measure. Let's have a look over here. Let's just move back a bit. Very quick. Okay, fine. There we are. Yesterday, where are we? Casein, Monday. There we are. This one. It was this one here, as we can see here. And it came in at a 50. Now, as I also mentioned in one of my posts, Chinese data always has to be taken with a pinch of salt. We all know that as in the markets, but it's not what we think. It's not whether it's true or not. It's how the market perceives it, and more importantly, how the market reacts to it. What happened was, because this came over, this is the inflection point for the PMI data is 50. It came in at 50.7. The market took that as a very positive read, and those of you who were trading yesterday saw that the Aussie absolutely flew yesterday and went higher and higher and higher. And as I said, this is the very close relationship between the Aussie and the Chinese economy. This was the CSI yesterday. I took it at 8 o'clock, 2000 GMT, because with the hourly charts, especially with the CSI, is you can see the strong divergence that we had yesterday. We had all the risk currencies. We had the three commodity currencies. We had the Canadian, we had the Aussie, we've got the New Zealand. We also had a very strong moves in the British pound yesterday. Oh, by the way, the other bit of news now is Brexit is now back on the table, back on the horizon. So those of you who are sterling traders, you really have to sort of perhaps bring yourself up to speed on that. But this is what it was at 8 o'clock last night, and it's, if you've got these indicators, sometimes on the hourly, just take a screenshot, because it's, with the lines moving, it's very easy to forget what has happened. As I said, this is a continuum. It's also a narrative. The market likes to tell itself stories. As people, we like stories. We like reasons for why things happen and why things don't happen. And what these indicators do, they pick up this narrative. So, flows going into the Aussie, the narrative is very strong. It's telling you there is positive market sentiment. That sentiment can change, can change in an instant. If at the moment what's been driving the sentiment is obviously the pandemic. The positive news is is, well, you know, our economy sort of picking up? Are things getting back to, in inverted comma, normal, as it were? So this is what we were looking at yesterday. But if you compare and contrast, let me just close that down, with what it's happened this morning, you will notice that, you know, from a technical perspective, that is all looking to set up to perhaps a nice sort of reversal. But as I tried to say, there we are. Look at the hourly chart. Well, have we had any big reversals? Well, we can see the New Zealand has turned over quite nicely, but the Aussie, yeah, it turned over until we had the RBA decision. Nothing really much to write home about. What are they going to say? They're not going to cut any more rates. They're not going to raise rates. The pound has carried on higher, but look at the overextension on the Canadian. It is still moving higher. And what about down here? The yen is still falling, the euro is still falling. Yeah, we had a little bit of movement on the faster time frames, but so far nothing major in terms of reversals, which is fine. But at least you know, at least you have a sense of what the market is thinking and feeling. So that's how you can use the CSI. And then, as I said, you then apply it to your individual currency pairs that you like to trade. Go back to the 3-minute here. Let's have a look whether we are going to get this reversal. And for actual entries, you say, well, you know, where do I enter? What do I use? We suggest, David and I suggest, is you use a non-time-based chart. We have a renko and we have a tick chart. With the renko, as we can see here, this is that move higher away from the congestion phase. Obviously, the resistance that we can see on the Camarilla we know the volume point of control is up at this point on the faster time frame. What are we actually waiting for here for a reversal? Well, we have the trend dots and we have the trend monitor. We need to see red and we need to see red. As we can see here, it happened here, didn't really go very far, still went into congestion, and then it moved high. Nothing is guaranteed in trading, but at least it gives you a pretty good idea of what is likely to happen next.